Welcome back to Bets Today, your front row seat to the world of smart betting. Ever look at the flashing lights, the massive stadiums, and the billion-dollar industry, and ask yourself, can I actually beat the bookmakers? The common answer you'll hear is no. They'll say the house always wins, that the odds are stacked against you, that it's a fool's game. But what if I told you that's exactly what they want you to believe? Today, we're going to shatter that myth. Forget everything you've been told. Beating the bookmakers isn't about luck, it's about strategy. It's not about being a gambler, it's about becoming an investor in the sports market. Think of it like this. Wall Street traders don't just randomly buy stocks, do they? They analyze trends, study performance, and look for undervalued assets. That's precisely the mindset we need to bring to the table. The bookmakers have one crucial weakness. They have to set odds for every single game, every single event. They're spread thin. We, on the other hand, have the advantage of specialization. We can pick our battles. We don't have to bet on everything. We can wait patiently for that one perfect opportunity where the odds are mispriced, where the market has overlooked a key piece of information. That's our window of opportunity. That's where we find value. So, what is value betting? In simple terms, it's finding odds that are higher than the true probability of an outcome. Imagine flipping a fair coin. The true probability of heads is 50%. A bookmaker might offer you odds that imply a 52% chance to cover their margin. But what if you knew, through superior analysis, that a particular team had a 60% chance of winning? But the bookie was offering odds that only reflected a 50% chance. That's a value bet, and finding these consistently is the key. How do we find this value? It starts with data, not just wins and losses, but deep analytical data. We're talking about advanced metrics, performance under specific conditions, underlying stats that most people ignore. While the average bettor is looking at the league table. We're analyzing things like expected goals, player performance ratings, and even the psychological state of a team. We're building a more accurate picture of reality than the odds suggest. It's about moving from being a fan with a hunch to an analyst with a thesis. Now, let's talk about the most critical element of all: discipline and bankroll management. This is what separates the professionals from the amateurs. You could have the best strategy in the world, but if you bet your entire bankroll on one game, you're not an investor, you're a gambler. A professional understands that there will be losing streaks. It's part of the game. The key is to have a staking plan that allows you to withstand those downswings and stay in the game long enough for your edge to pay off. We're talking about betting a small, consistent percentage of your bankroll on each selection, typically 1 to 3%. This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about building wealth systematically, one smart bet at a time. It removes emotion from the equation and turns your betting into a disciplined, business-like operation. Let's put this into practice. Consider a recent match where the underdog was playing at home. The public money was flooding in on the big-name favorite. The bookies' odds reflected this public bias, but our analysis showed something different. The underdog had a stellar defensive record at home, and the favorite's star striker was returning from a minor injury, likely not at 100%. The odds on the underdog not to lose were incredibly generous. It was a classic value opportunity. We didn't bet with our hearts. We bet with our heads, based on data. And when the final whistle blew and the game ended in a draw, it was another win for strategy over hype. These opportunities are everywhere, every single day, if you know how to look for them. It takes work. It takes dedication. You have to be willing to put in the hours of research that others won't. You have to track your bets, analyze your performance, and constantly refine your models. It's a continuous process of learning and adaptation. The market is always changing, and we have to be one step ahead. The bookmakers thrive on impulsive, emotional betting. They love it when you chase your losses or bet on your favorite team out of loyalty. Our job is to be the complete opposite. We are calm, calculated, and objective. We treat every bet as a calculated investment decision. We're not swayed by media narratives or last week's spectacular goal. We are guided by numbers, probability, and proven strategies. This isn't a fantasy. People do this for a living. They've turned sports betting from a hobby into a serious source of income by applying these very principles. They've achieved a level of freedom that most people only dream of, all by finding an edge in a market that's supposedly unbeatable. They understood that the key isn't to predict the winner of every game, but to consistently identify and exploit odds that are in their favor. Over the long term, this mathematical edge is what guarantees profit. So, when you ask again, "Can I beat the bookmakers?" the answer is a resounding yes. But it requires a complete shift in your mindset. Stop thinking like a fan and start thinking like a market analyst. Embrace data, master bankroll management, and cultivate unwavering discipline. The path isn't easy, but for those who are willing to learn the craft, the rewards are undeniable. It's about turning the tables and making the odds work for you, not against you. Thank you for joining me on Bets Today. This is just the beginning of our journey into the world of strategic sports investing. If you're ready to learn more and change the way you see betting forever, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have a lot more to cover. Until next time, bet smart and stay disciplined.